So I recently made a video titled "Was Robert Whittaker a legit champion?" I'll link it above if you haven't seen it. But I essentially go over a few facts about Whittaker's reign, and then speculate what that would mean for his legitimacy as a champion as time passes. But I felt I was being a little unfair to Whittaker, because let's face it, he's not the only champion in UFC history with a questionable title reign. So I thought we'd make it into a series. So without any further ado, was Matt Serra a legit champion? For the uninitiated into the glorious world that is Matt Serra. Matt's career spanned 12 years from 1998 to 2010, making his UFC debut in 2001 at UFC 31, losing to Shoney Carter by third round KO and leaving him with a 4-1 record. After winning 2 and dropping 2, Serra would go on another 2-fight winning streak before being stopped in a unanimous decision loss to Cairo Parisian at UFC 53 in June of 2005. Standing at 8-4 and coming off of a loss, Serra was granted the opportunity to compete on the 4th season of The Ultimate Fighter, the caveat being that the winning fighters would be granted a title shot in their respective divisions. After winning his first fight by KO and winning his second fight by decision in a rematch against Shoney Carter, Serra would find himself in the finals facing against Chris Lytle in a back and forth fight that would see Serra leave the victor with a 9-4 record and a shot at GSP. And at UFC 69, Matt Serra cashed in that title shot. Now, to call Matt Serra an underdog would be insulting to dogs. He was coming into that fight 9-4 against who we all saw as the new breed. GSP was 13-1 on a 5-fight win streak, which has seen him capture the welterweight belt from dominant long-time champion Matt Hughes with a head kick KO, and he just looked flawless. His only stumble up until that point was in his first title fight against Matt Hughes, and even GSP has self-admitted that he went into that fight with an over-admiration for Hughes. In the rematch he put all of that to bed, and you could see that GSP felt it too. I mean, if you just look at GSP in the cage before that fight, he is radiating arrogance, and it's the only time you ever see a look of arrogance on him. And it's a word you'd never associate with George St Pierre. But shortly into the first round, Matt Serra shocked the world, landing a hellacious punch that sent GSP flying across the canvas. And the jiu-jitsu ace abandoned his submission game here and proceeded to clobber GSP until the referee had seen enough, and an underdog tale for the ages, Matt Serra had captured the welterweight title. This bliss wouldn't last too long, however. Matt was booked to make his first title defense against Matt Hughes at UFC 79. After having to pull out due to a herniated disc, he was replaced by former champion George St Pierre, now riding a 2-fight win streak in a bout scheduled for the interim title. GSP would go on to win this fight in the second round by armbar, and with it would secure his rematch for the strap that many people felt he should never have lost in the first place. Unfortunately, and maybe unfairly to Matt Serra, he was almost as big an underdog going into the second fight as he was the first, even as the defending champion, although this time the odds makers had it right. After a dominant first round, GSP would finish Serra with brutal knees to the body in the second, and with it, our underdog tale was cut short. Serra would fight 3 more times in MMA. He would lose a decision to Matt Hughes, eventually facing each other at UFC 98. After rebounding with a TKO victory over Frank Trigg, he would drop a decision in a rematch to Chris Lytle at UFC 119, and this would be the last time we ever saw Serra compete. Matt Serra left us with an 11-7 record and without a title defense. Yet, he provided us with one of the underdog stories in MMA. A title win we wouldn't see the likes of again until UFC 199, a man who rightfully deserves his place in the MMA Hall of Fame. So, with a more clear answer than my last video, was Matt Serra a legit champion? I say yes. Not only did he win in a non-controversial manner, it may have been a TKO, but I'd like to see anyone call that an early stoppage. But as time has already shown us, his title reign has aged like fine wine. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know who you'd like to see next, and if you're still watching, why not like and subscribe? You're already there, you might as well. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.